All right. So what's up, Mattie? We're here with Mattie Montgomery from For today
Yeah,
in Gramercy
that's
in New
right.
York on the farewell tour.
Yes.
So this is kind of almost the end of the farewell tour.
Yeah.
Uh, do you think this is the end for good? Because bands, it's never
Oh,
really,
yes, I do think this is the end for
really
good. Yeah, man. I mean, like, I never put all my eggs in the musician basket. We're not quitting now because we have to quit, and maybe in a few years people will get sentimental and we could come back. We're quitting right now just because it's the right thing to do. Time to move on with our lives and go into the next things that God has for us.
right.
Yeah.
So you're not ruling out like a possible one-off show or
I mean,
something.
I wouldn't, I guess I can't guarantee anything, Um, Never say never, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
All right.
So this farewell tour sort of became a global event. You guys went all over the world. Now, did you learn anything this time around? Like, sort of taking it in as this is the last time and just seeing how different cultures and different people sort of say goodbye to a band that maybe they love or like.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is just how universal, this has been. It's like you have people from all over the planet really coming to these shows and saying the same things, coming to the shows for the same reason, saying the same things. And I think that's one of the cool things about the gospel is that the cross, which is at the center of the gospel,
Right.
is the great equalizer. That everybody, at the foot of the cross, no matter what country you grew up in, or what language you speak, or what kind of music even you're into, that all of us come to the cross with, with a great awareness of our own need, and we receive at the cross a great mercy to meet that need. And so, so many people from all around the world. I mean, we've been in 12 countries over 61 days over the last 3 months, and God has touched people's lives on all of these,
Right.
four different continents, on all these different and all these different nations, and it's been a really beautiful thing to
No,
see. Yeah.
that's awesome. And I saw that almost everywhere you went, you sort of spent a few days prior preaching in these places. Now, what sort of response have you gotten from that? And do you find that after preaching and speaking to these people that a lot of these people come to shows that maybe wouldn't have,
Well,
before?
I only did that one
Oh,
time,
you only did
just
that
in
one time.
Brazil. Yeah, and that was just the only reason the band even went to Brazil is because I was going to be down there preaching.
Right.
Um, so I just went to preach because there was a conference there that some friends of mine were putting on, and then the band said, "Well, if you're going to be down there, we might as well, I'll fly down there and just go to a South American tour straight away after." So that's kind of what we did. But this thing for today has always been about the message,
Right.
and so there are many people that maybe they kind of like the music, but they love the message, and that's why they follow the band. So yeah, I think any time that the message is going to be preached, the kingdom truth is going to be preached, I think there are a lot of people that are going to respond to it. Where Jesus is lifted up, he draws all men unto himself.
Sure. And your book, Lovely Things in Ugly Places, documents some of these ministering moments across the world. If you could narrow down from the stories, which one would you say was like the biggest standout in the book? And did anything happen this time around that you wish that you could have included in the book?
um, it I don't know if there's one story that I think stands out. Maybe the story of Hannah, the girl who was she was addicted to drugs. Um, she was dating a Satanist. She was an
Right.
atheist. She cut off communication with all Christians, and God began to burden me to pray for her. And I didn't talk to her. I didn't preach the gospel to her. Never met her. And I just began praying and praying. And then after a few months of prayer, deep intercession for this girl, I got a report from a friend of mine that one night she was asleep in her house with her boyfriend, and I walked into her house and woke her up and packed all of her things, put her in my car, and I drove her 4 hours south and checked her into a school of ministry in Kansas City. Now I didn't do that, but that's the
Wow.
story that I was told. Is her boyfriend was looking for me to try to fight me because I had stolen his girlfriend in the middle of the night and dropped her off at this ministry internship. And I love that story because it doesn't depend on my ability to preach at all. I didn't preach to this girl.
Right.
I didn't use some kind of money or network ability that I have. It's not, I didn't bring anything to the table in that situation. It wasn't because of how good I am or how gifted I am or anything like that. It was because I believed that God could intervene in this girl's life, even if I could not. And so yeah, I love that story because it's really not about me. I did not do it. All I did was pray for this girl, and God did it. And that's
That's
something
awesome.
that anybody can do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So no multiple Matties.
No.
No. So what about was there anything that happened this time around that you're like, oh man,
Mm.
I wish this could have happened before. I would have put it in the book.
Every night is full of miracles. There's a girl that I talked about. Have you read the book?
I haven't read.
Okay, there's a girl I talked about in the book toward the end of the book named Marcella. She's here at the show today. She came and she brought her mom, her mom cried when she met us because of the impact that we had on her daughter. She gave her life to Christ. This girl Marcella, she was abused for years, and she didn't believe in God because she thought, how could God ever let this happen to me? She had an encounter with Jesus and gave her life to him in the basement of this venue. The last time we played here, and I put it in the book, and now she's back again. So there's I'd love to be able to update and say God is doing great things in Marcella and in her family now. So there's like a lot of so many stories that I could tell, and so many stories that I even could have included in the book that just didn't make it because I didn't really add to the narrative. So I don't know if there's one thing that I would say I wish I could have put in the book, but yeah, there's always things happening, man. That's what walking with Jesus is about.
Yeah, you got to do a DLC for everyone, some downloadable content.
Yeah, I should
for an update.
Yeah.
So as you get ready for this next venture of your life, your career, your calling, is there anything that you still need to do to prepare? And what's this immediate plan once the tour is over?
I've been traveling to preach at conferences and churches for a long time, and I love that, man. That's my heart. I love to see the local church awaken to be able to be everything that Jesus died for her to be. And so I'm going to be doing quite a bit of that. I also really just want to spend time investing in my city, man. I've lived in Mobile, Alabama for 4 or 5 years now, but I've been gone the whole time, it feels like. And so I'm excited to get home, man, and start seeing more people come to Christ there in my city, more people healed and saved and set free there in my city. So, I'm excited to go. I mean, and more than anything, I just want to spend time with my wife and kids. I love advancing the kingdom. I love partnering with local churches, being a part of what God is doing around the world. But my favorite thing in the world is to be able to, grill out and, in my backyard, have my kids jumping in the pool, my wife by my side. There's nothing better.
Yeah, awesome. I really can't argue with that. So earlier this year, you told Rapzilla that you'd love to make a hardcore hip-hop mixtape. So is that any step closer? Do you have a better idea of what that will look like? Or is that still right where you left it when you mentioned that?
That's still right where I left it. So, I've got some friends who are hip-hop producers and stuff. I'll bet if I drove up to Nashville and was like, yo, Derek Minor, let's make an EP together. Let's get in the lab and cook up an EP. He'd be for it. So, to be honest, it's like I don't have. I would love to do it, but I don't know that. I don't know that I have like the ambition to make it happen. You know what I mean? If someone else is like, "Yo, I want to do this thing. Will you help me?" I'd be like, "Sure." But I don't know that I want to be the guy that's like, "We got to do this."
Because now you're like breathing.
Yeah, like I can live without it.
Well, if I speak to Derek Minor, I might have to throw you under the bus.
I don't know.
Like,
that's my friend.
Mattie said he's waiting for you to call him to make this hip hop album. So now that For Today will be gone from the scene, do you feel that there's another band poised to follow in your footsteps, or who do you see as sort of?
We'll see. There's other bands that could. Yeah. The question is if they will, and that's up to them.
Do you have anyone in particular on your radar, or someone that you think already has the chops to sort of make it?
No, I don't want to say that nobody has the chops to do it. I think whosoever would believe could be used by God, even more than For Today. But I don't think that it's not what a band has, it's what Jesus has that can qualify people to be used to advance the kingdom. So I think any band can do it. I think the question is if they will. There's some bands that are flirting with the idea right now, but we'll see if they stick it out and if they really press into the heart of God.
Right. So, anything else to say, do, add?
Not at this point.
Anything
No.
else you want to talk about? Nothing?
No.
You're good?
I'm good, man. It's perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
This just came to me.
Okay.
Real quick, last one. Favorite DC Talk song that's not
Jesus Freak.
Freak?
Yeah. As a kid, I would have said like Walls maybe off Free at Last. But it's got to be Free at Last. It's got to be Free at Last. That song is so hype. It's the ultimate party jam. Now, I feel like I should also give special mention to what's it called? To What If I Stumble? And it's because as a kid I listened to the song and I thought it's just a slow song. I don't want to listen to this. Like skip forward. Let's get to one of the jammers again. But now as an adult and specifically as someone who's in ministry and in a touring band, like I'm a young man, I'm in a touring band, and these guys are singing lyrics like, what if I stumble? What if I fall? What if I lose my step and I make fools of us all? Will the love continue when my walk becomes a crawl? I hear those lyrics and I understand that fear. As a guy that is a leader in a music scene and as a guy that's like, I'm up on stage and I'm talking about Jesus to people every night, but with that comes this incredible pressure that like, man, what if I messed up? I see so many people that are falling into sin or succumbing to temptation around them. And I think like I could do that, like I could fall into some kind of crazy sin and cheat on my wife or, steal money from the band or become an alcoholic or whatever. Like people do that. And that could be me. And I think like, with this great platform that we have comes this really huge responsibility. And it's a scary thing, And so I think that song really song means a lot to me. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite song, but it means a lot to me. It's a really powerful song.
Right.
And I understand where they were at when they were writing it as young men who are Christians and whose band is seeing success, because that comes with a great deal of responsibility. It's a serious thing.
Yeah, it means a lot more than I love rap music.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. That was Mattie Montgomery
man.
Today, and we're done.
Awesome, bro. Justin, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, man.